Hello, my name is Brad Harris, and I'm going to go ahead and talk to you a little bit about our tutorial for our final project, the Easy Weather Tutorial Guide. So we originally created this easy tutorial because we wanted to show users how to create something that was a little bit more advanced than they might want to start off with and try and make it a little bit easier for them. And going over some things, for example, the database setup, how we went through and did the database. And it just basically gives you a brief rundown on what you need to do. So we're not going to give you the exact answer. It's here's some code and we'll try and help you figure it out throughout the way. So in order to be able to explain things a little bit more clearly. So I'm not going to go ahead and read off the tutorial. You can actually just read through it yourself to find out exactly what's going on. But we go through some things like JSON parsing and what actually is it and what does it do and how does it connect us to the basically where we need to go to and what we used, which was OK HTTP. And then once you actually create your request, where do you send it to? Who do you give it to? Well, these are the type of things that we're going to go ahead that we are providing a tutorial for. And then we, with a little bit more added information, uh, gives you a little bit about the how it's like the model view controller pattern inside of a model view controller pattern. But on to Enrique.
Okay, in this video I'm going to be introducing some of the most important files inside of the application, starting with the manifest. As you can see, there are two main activities. One is the actual main activity named that way, and the other one is the hello user window. The hello user window is going to be greeting you before the main activity, and after a trigger done in the hello user window, that's when you're actually going to be going into the main activity of the program. The permissions are on the top, and we can see we need permissions to the internet and to access the network state. Basically, we're going to be using a lot of the internet. And the network state basically just shows if the app is actually connected to the internet or not. Okay, now we're going to go into the Hello User window. This particular activity, the only thing that it does is that it gets information that you actually give in to the application and stores it into a small database. I have actually gone with a very basic and simple implementation of the database because we don't need much. We're just going to be taking the name and the city from the user and storing it in a very small database, an SQLite database. This is the view in which you will actually be inputting your information. As you can see, it's very minimal, and the background is made to look as the overall activity is going to look like. Here in the main activity, we have all of the other information regarding our JSON connections and our parsing, which the JSON connections are going to be working through OK HTTP, which is a library that works with POJO or plain old Java object classes. As you can see, I've been working with this for a while now. And see those bind view notations over there? Those are butter knife, which is an external library. I highly recommend you checking it out so you can see exactly what's working inside. Now we see the get forecast method. Basically, it's going to work through asynchronous calls to an HTTP library. And from the API that we have on the top, you're going to get JSON string, which is going to get parsed into each one of the individual classes that we have, the POJO classes. And after that, at the bottom of the screen, after the update UI method, which is going to make everything look the way it looks, we're going to send that information to the other two activities that we have, which are daily forecast activity and hourly forecast activity. Those two basically one is a list view and the other one is a recycler view. I made it in both ways so you can see exactly the old way of doing things versus the new way of doing things. Which, by the way, the Hello forecast activity has the new way of doing things, and it's very important for you to actually get used to doing things in what's new. So forget about the old libraries. Stick to the new ones. Okay, both of these activities work with something called adapters. Basically, an adapter receives information. In this case, you see on the top it says private hour array. That's the information that we're going to be passing to the adapter. The adapter is going to parse through that and send it to a view display. It's going to put each one of those of the information inside of the class, and it's going to bind it to something in the view. So now we're going to run the app so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, we're still waiting. Sometimes the emulator takes a while. Okay, and we're almost on. Okay, now see this is how it looks like. I type whatever, and I just put something in it for whatever, it doesn't matter what. And I'm going to put Laredo because it's the city in which I'm at. And boom, there you go. See, it's got my current temperature here in Laredo. If I want to see my weekly forecast, you see on the top there's today. This actually dynamic is going to show your day depending on, the forecast depending on what day you're at. And hourly, this is a nice recycler view. Okay, you see how it scrolls up and down? That's what recycler view does. Okay, and that was basically it. Thank you so much for watching, and it's going to have a PDF with instructions on how to build this. If you have any questions, please send me an email. Thank you.